I met an interesting couple this morning. They first met in middle school and then got together again nearly 2 decades later. Often these kinds of relationships are more about reliving their youth than building a grown-up union. Wait till you see what they had to say.
Divorce court is now in session.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here today with Michael Robinson and Kimberly Robinson. The two of you have been married for 4 years. My understanding, however, is that you two met way back in school when you were young, and you kind of rekindled your union a little later on. So why don't you tell me how that worked out?
Well, again, we met each other when we were in middle school, and right off the bat, I think we had a connection that probably be akin to soulmates. I know we don't like that analogy, but we felt like we were, compatible at that age, and we engaged in a mature relationship. Needless to say, it was unfortunate. We lost contact around that time, and we lost contact for 18 years. And she was able to locate me later on social media. And right off the bat, we rekindled our relationship as if it had never ended, because again, we did have that connection throughout that time. And so I guess she basically came up to live with me 2 months after we rekindled our relationship, and within 5 months we were married. And everything seemed to be going fine, but again, because of her personality, a lot of arguments and basically controlling issues led to, increased just not getting along.
Okay. Ms. Robinson, you want to co-sign on that story, or do you see it a little differently?
I see it a little differently.
Or tell me what you think happened.
I think we rushed into a relationship, being that we were together when we were younger. I think we could have had enough time to try to get to know each other as adults. It was rush. As far as the marriage, I was willing to.
Who was rushing the most? Who wanted to put a ring on it?
Michael.
Was it you or was it him?
It was Michael.
Was it you, Mr. Robinson?
That's not accurate. We both, had expressed that this is what we wanted. My situation with the marriage was more of a legal insurance aspect, and hers was more of, if we're going to be doing this, we need to make it legitimate.
Right.
Which I was in line for.
That's not true.
Yeah, it is.
What do you say?
I say when he came to West Palm Beach to pick me up to come stay with him in Tallahassee, we showed up at the marriage license place. It was more of a, I know we want to do this. Here it is now. Let me swipe the card. Let's sign our names. If nothing else, I can put you on my insurance in March.
Mr. Robinson, I tend to believe her, and I tend to believe her for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
One of it is because of the language that you use.
Okay.
We had that instant connection and a mature relationship in middle school.
It's true.
Yeah, no, it's not true, because if it were true, we wouldn't be here today. Anybody can be attracted to somebody else. Attraction is often mistaken for something that is much more deep and more meaningful.
Right.
And I think that it often happens when people reconnect on social media. They remember the attraction part, but have no earthly idea of who that other person really is. You remember the feeling that they elicited in you, but you don't know them. Because I remember middle school, right? I was a complete lunatic in middle school. So, and the woman that I am now, and so I think you believed that, and I think as a function of that, because that's the story you tell, as a function of that, you thought it was kind of meant to be, so you did with the rush. I'm not asking for opinion, I'm just telling you how it is. What were the problems in your relationship with him?
My relationship with Michael has been emotionally abusive, verbally abusive. Between the both
tell
of
me
us.
the kinds of things that he says to you.
He says that I deserve what I get because of the way I am with my personality. I'm very strong-willed. I want to settle problems right away. And he would rather leave them lingering out there, which frustrates me and have me become angry. Things like that.
Well, I don't know if that's verbally abusive. You deserve you're loud and crazy and you break
More
stuff.
like-
So
Like
good
he
enough
allowed
for you.
his family members to be verbally disrespectful towards me, and that would cause me to be angry. I would look for him.
When you say verbally disrespectful, you have to give me some examples.
Like calling me out of my name, making me feel like I'm not wanted or welcome. I've had.
You're talking about how you're feeling. You're not giving me examples of what has been said.
I was visiting him before we got married with his family members, and she called me a thief. She called me whores and stuff like that at the top of her lungs.
Okay.
I hadn't done anything wrong. I just heard the screaming, and I was hoping that Michael would at least protect me and tell her, okay, well, she doesn't deserve that.
Right.
Don't
Did
say
he
these
did he not defend you at all?
At all, not at all. No.
Okay. Mr. Robinson, do you have any recollection of that event?
I actually do, and again, like I said, I'm sorry, but it's just a mischaracterization of how it went down. The family member in question did do those things, and I did confront my family member on those, but right when in that particular environment, I tried to de-escalate it, and I just got us out of there. That's why she didn't witness me standing up for her, quote unquote.
Those are things that other people said to you. You say he was verbally abusive to you, and I have yet to see that. Why don't you tell me what he says or does that is abusive to you?
He calls me a slut.
That's
He
simply
says
not
that,
true. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
He says that my job, working from home, doing hair, is not a real job, that, you know, I don't have a right to say anything because I'm not clocking in and out, but I've been a stylist since I was 15, unofficially, and I became a stylist officially in 2013. And he did not come to my graduation. He wanted to cause a fight that morning to go to work, and he basically left me alone when I really needed him the most.
Okay. Now, you say that you're a very strong person and then you go into tirades. Is part of these name-calling things mutual in nature?
Yes, it can be. At
So
times.
he calls you out of your name when you guys are arguing,
Yes.
which is, to me, it means you guys are you're getting into it, but it's not a situation where he's just always at you and on you and making you feel less than by emotionally beating you up. I don't see that.
He would take my money and put on a credit card that I don't have access to. So
How does he take your money? I mean, if you've got
no,
a
I
bank
hand
account,
it to
you
him
put it
and
in.
says, hey, can we go do this? And it doesn't happen.
Mr. Robinson, you heard what she said about you calling her names and being and claiming that what she does for a living is not really a real job. What is your response to that?
Actually, now you used the word mutual. I would say the beratement, degrading of one's character is actually not even mutual. It's more unilateral from her to me. That's not how I communicate. I normally try to back the situation up or be silent. But as far as her stating about the job situation, I never degraded her about it. I just said, in order for us to succeed and move forward, we both have to be kind of in a joint effort toward that. And her feeling like she can hustle and do a few hair jobs here and there contributes towards paying bills, which she has not done. I'd say that that's not true. Now, I didn't say that that was anything wrong with her about it. I just said, look, this is what we need
We
to do.
need a little more. You need to
Right.
step up your economic game
Yes.
in order for
We've
us
had
to
people
remain.
staying with us where I've been contributing for everyone. Every place we've had,
That's not true.
that we've lost, every car that we've had that we've lost, it's been on my
that's
shoulders.
not true.
She has not contributed to that effort.
That is
Well,
not
have you
true at
been
all.
in while you were married to him, have you been in an economic perilous situation?
Somewhat. In the situation he's talking about where he's shouldering everything, that's not true. I have gotten lump sums of money, $2,000 here, $47,100 here and there, to sit with him and talk to him about the things that we should do. He would take my money and put on a credit card that I don't have access to. So
How does he take your money? I mean, if you've got a bank
I hand
account,
it to
you
him
put it
and says, hey, can we go do this? And it doesn't happen. The car that he bought it for himself. The car dealership told him, take your wife and go get y'all a nice brand new car. He dropped me off home and
What
went
do
and got
you
him a
do
car.
to secure your economic situation? I understand you get lump sums here and there.
that was in the
But that's
beginning.
not. But do you do anything to create steady money that one could feel comfortable that they have a secure future?
if he secures the house and I'm making money and I'm buying groceries, I feel like that's contributing. If I buy towels and sheets and stuff for the house, I feel like that's contributing. I don't feel like I have to split the bills straight down the middle in order to contribute to the house. If the house is running smoothly, it's clean, you know, the house is running the way it should.
So what are you angry with him about?
I'm angry because he's very selfish. He's very manipulative.
In what way? Give me examples of selfishness or how he manipulates you.
Well, he doesn't like to share his money with me. I don't know how much he makes. He definitely wants to know how much I make. He would like me to hand over my money to him and sit quietly while he handles everything.
Do you believe that you should handle all the money and you ask her to give you all the money and you dole it out?
No, not in any way, shape, or form. And again, our relationship started kind of with a mutual responsibility. I even allowed her access to my credit cards, checking accounts, and everything.
You picked a place that I didn't want to live in.
Stop.
And, you know, again, that trust was misused time after time. So it got to a situation where whatever I'm doing, yes, I'm doing it unilaterally. But as far as whatever she makes, I was hoping that we would combine our resources, and it never went to that. Yes, she got money here and there, but her money was for her, for hair, for smoking, for whatever other, you know, indulgences she wanted. But I was supposed to provide the base.
I just don't understand why you two got married. I don't, It didn't seem like it was ever any good. It was like, it was the memory of an 8th grade romance that put you hand in hand. I don't see any common goals. I don't see any commonality. I don't see any, you know, things were going good, but this happened. It was jacked up from jump.
It was jacked up from jump, yes.
Well, why did you get married? I asked her,
okay,
why did you get married?
We really did have a desire to be, you know, on a life trajectory together. We really did. And for me,
I could have waited for the marriage.
If you allow me to finish my one point. I know that she had been through a lot of things in those 18 years, but I felt like our love was going to transcend that and that I would be able to compensate. And I think it was a little arrogant, and in fact, very arrogant on my part. So I felt like we had enough to make it work, and I was wrong.
But was there anything positive going on between the two of you since you got back together that would indicate that that grand 8th grade love trajectory that you were on was real?
Yes.
No.
How did he sabotage your mom coming to your graduation?
He picked a fight that morning instead of us riding to Miami to pick my mother up.
Did you not go to her graduation? Have you been living together for years but find that splitting up is as complicated as getting a divorce? Call toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Don't forget to join the conversation on social media. Go to facebook.com/divorcecourt and follow us on Twitter and Instagram @divorcecourt. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram @divorcecourt. So, Mr. Robinson, what went well after you met again?
Well, I mean, we still had that same connection we had when we were kids. Intimately, there's no problems between us. She's a very good, you know, parent and friend. You know, I mean, we have good times, but, you know, we're focusing on the negative, what went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And so to clarify what went right, I would just say that, you know, we felt good about one another. I mean, she can say no, but I think we actually did. And that's why we stayed together for so long, even when those problems were apparent, you know, in the very beginning.
How did you handle the problems as the years went by? Did they accelerate?
They just festered.
Huh?
They all festered. Nothing really got resolved when it comes to coming together and finding out where we're going to put our roots down at. I wanted my mom to be at my wedding. I want her to be at my graduation. And he would sabotage all those things.
How and why would he sabotage that kind of thing?
I just don't think he really wanted me to have my family together, as far as my mom, my kids, and them being able to enjoy that part of my life. He wanted
So how did he sabotage your mom coming to your graduation?
He picked a fight that morning instead of us riding to Miami to pick my mother up.
Did you not go to her graduation?
Your Honor, she's trying to bombard with, you know, details about things that's not even really an issue here.
That's the issue
I really
for me.
did want to go. I just was on my grind as far as wanting to work that day, and you come pick me up when we're about ready to go, and she basically made it to where she was actually gone and wasn't able to pick me up.
I
So
wanted you to
I
help
was
me be
devastated
there
because like I
every
said,
step
I
of the way.
contributed money, I contributed time, I even helped her study. I mean, it's something that I wanted to, but
Did he do that?
He helped me study, but I was already studying, so he just helped me practice for tests. I'm an A student regardless.
That's all a person can do.
But he did not have, he already had that day off. He called in that morning, and I already explained to him that I wanted him to be there the whole day with me, help me get ready, because I had never
so because she
graduated.
didn't get her way, that's how it all went
But I
down. And that's
asked you in
characteristically how
advance.
she operates. Even leading up to the situation that I think we're here for today about her equipment,
That's
it's
why.
always a situation where if she doesn't get her way, everything breaks
Why
down.
wouldn't
And
you
that's
wanna
why I
be
don't
there?
think that we have a future.
What
Ms.
was so
Robinson,
important?
Ms. Robinson, I'm going to say this to you. I think you were looking for Prince Charming to come in and solve your life.
Yes.
You were looking for
A best friend.
We had
Ms.
that.
Robinson, I'm trying to speak.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You were looking for a guy who was going to make it all right, and he's going to have the money, and it's going to be straight. You can do what you want to do. You're going to have support. You're going to have friendship. You're going to have love. He's going to be your soulmate. He's going to be your everything. It's all going to work out. It's all going to resolve. And the minute you didn't get exactly what you wanted or exactly what you needed, it just outraged you. And I think you wanted too much, and you wanted it to be too perfect too soon. And the fact that it didn't happen that way, you know, it made you angry and disgruntled, and you remain so today, and you remain angry over little things. Do you know what I'm saying? So he didn't want to spend the whole day with you at your graduation. You know?
It was an important day for me.
I understand that, but wow. On Divorce Court, what are you gonna do? I ask the tough questions. It wasn't me,
It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Did you ever catch him?
No.
But you tried. And I give you the answers. Men and women must explain themselves to one another.
Because I pay his phone bill, Your Honor.
Quit paying a man's phone bill, honey. Visit our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Divorce Court. You're seeking $1,500 for the loss of all of your hairstyling equipment. Mr. Robinson, what happened to her equipment?
What ended up happening was because of her chaotic personality, she ended up quitting her job and then staying with another one of my family members. And I had some of her equipment at the place where I was staying, but she actually demanded, like, you know, bring all my stuff, you know, repeatedly. So I was like, okay, you have all your stuff. Then she's staying with my other family, and she brought chaos to that family member as well. So then she had to leave from that family member. So I don't know what happened with her belongings, but it wasn't anything that I
Did you end up living with another set of family members of his?
No, actually, they dropped me off. They didn't tell me I was going to be staying there.
Right. But when you initially asked him for the equipment, when he had it, did he bring it to you?
Yeah, after about a week after he went through my stuff.
So whoever has your equipment, it isn't him.
He had
It's somebody in his family. You said he brought it to you.
He brought me my clothes and stuff like that, but he had already went through whatever he wanted to go through before he brought it to me, and I lost a lot of my stuff in that.
Yeah, okay. I don't believe her.
It's not true.
I don't believe her. Ms. Robinson, I'm worried about you a little bit. I think you have very unrealistic expectations. I think you have anger issues, security issues, and I think that you need to take, I mean, I know you're in a tough situation, and I'm not quite sure if there's anything we can do to help you. I'm going to send you to somebody to try to get started, but you need to make better decisions about your life and be responsible for what happens to you and get the important things taken care of first. Whether or not your mother was at your wedding, whoop-de-doo, my mother wasn't at mine. She was my best friend, and she wasn't at mine. Those kind of things are not something you drag along with you through the rest of your life and get torn up about. And I think he was being a reasonable person, and I think that when your unrealistic expectations don't get met, you do the crazy dance, and it was too much. And I wish you the best, and I know you don't believe me. I'm going to send you to talk to somebody, so maybe we can get you started a little bit and help. But Mr. Robinson, I believed everything that you said, but you need to let go of that soulmate nonsense. That's what got you in this jackpot. Right there. There will be no recovery in this matter. It is so ordered. Fairy tale romances that start in the 8th grade never end well. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222.